Hello and welcome to my video. In this video, I will begin the discussion on the medical story about cancer to show you with the medical evidence, yes, their own biomedical scientific research findings, that the story sold to the public is bogus. The scientific findings contradict the story given to the public. I will endeavour to keep my discussion as simple as possible so that I may reach everyone. I want to show you how and why the promoted story of cancer is not evidence-based, and thus the treatments which are based on this story are inadequate. What is cancer? The public is told that cancer is abnormal cells dividing out of control, that it is a genetic disease, that somehow the DNA in cells has been either damaged or there is miscopying in the replication processes that take place in cell division, so that in some cells, some genes, there have errors in them. The errors have been missed, they say, by the repair processes, and instead of self-destructing, these cells go on to divide. And the argument here is that the body has high fidelity, but of course it's not perfect. So errors will occur and errors will be missed. So the cell with the errors, instead of self-destructing, will go on to survive and continue to divide. Now they see many tens of thousands of mutations, changes in the genes. So they conjecture, and it is only conjecture, that the cell accumulates more and more mutations until eventually it becomes a cancer cell. And they are citing Darwin and evolutionary theory to explain what is seen in the quote-unquote accumulation of mutation. I will show you in a later video that this claim is outrageous to the extreme. And there's more conjecture because the evidence is not convincing that if the cancer cell is not recognised as abnormal and wiped out by the immune system, it goes on dividing madly to form a mass of cancer cells, commonly called a tumour. In the medical literature, though, we find that cancer has all the characteristics, and wait for it, the characteristics of an organ. An organ, you heard right. It has the characteristics of an organ, not a mass of abnormal cells. So, what are these characteristics? It has a basement membrane which anchors and nourishes the cells. It has stem cells, which in this case are cancer stem cells. And contrary to the story given to the public about cells dividing out of control, it is cancer stem cells which give rise to all the other cells, all the other cancer cells, and possibly all the other cells in total. Because it is not only cancer cells that are contained within this organ, there are also normal cells which are found in every other organ of the body. And these normal cells may constitute from 20% of the tumour to as much as 80% of the cancer tumour or cancer organ. And that is not all. All of the cells communicate with each other, and they communicate meaningfully. And there is more. The cancer organ has developed a blood supply, a lymphatic supply, and a nerve supply. And like other organs in the body, the immune system cells move into and out of this organ as well. All of the cells communicate with the immune system cells, and they also communicate meaningfully. So far from abnormal rogue cells dividing out of control, the biomedical scientists have observed that cancer displays order and organisation. It is, in every sense, a new organ. Now, rather than asking why has this happened, all of the characteristics of the organ are being explained away in the most ridiculous fashion. Ridiculous from a biological point of view. The public is told that cancer cells are rogue cells which recruit other normal cells, and that this explains why there are other normal cells in amongst the cancer cells or in their vicinity. This is outrageous from a biological point of view. No cells in the body have any such capacity. They also tell the public that these rogue cancer cells hijack the immune system cells and force them to do their bidding. This is also outrageous, and they go on to say more outrageous things, such as that the cancer cells trick the blood vessels to grow towards them so as to provide them with a blood supply and therefore nutrients and fuel materials. Another explanation that is given is that the cancer stem cells have somehow turned on the embryonic stem cell capabilities. But this still does not explain what we see. The story given to the public is totally unrealistic from a biological standpoint. The public need to see the evidence. Thank you for viewing my video. I'll see you in the next video. In the next video, I will discuss the second half of the medical story about cancer, which is on metastasis. And now lastly, normally I add a trailer with some of the wildlife in and around my home. This time though, I thought maybe the garbage being taken away is more appropriate. Thank you.